Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we have a trending news here for you. And the headline of the news reads, Gov.Bala Mohammed coronavirus result finally out. See details. But before we continue with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. The governor of Bauchi State, who went into self-isolation as a result of having a handshake with Atiku Abubakar's son, also named Mohammed, has tested positive for the coronavirus. Mohammed had attended the NGF meeting they presided over by Chairman Kayode Fayemi, the governor of Ekiti State. Other persons also which he had met in the process before he now tested positive are some other governors and deputy governors. As Sisani Okaru, the Director General of NGF, and Abdul Razak Bello Bakindo, the head of media and public affairs, were also present in the meeting. And he was, that's Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State was also present at the National Economic Council meeting presided over by the Vice President Yemi Osibanjo. Members of the council have started expressing worries over the possibility of having been exposed to the virus. And this is bringing a lot of thoughts in the minds of so many Nigerians owing to the fact that this is one of the ways this virus may spread to the ends of Nigeria. Don't forget that during some meeting that they have had, he had possibly had interactions, possibly a handshake, or even hugging some of the state governors. But with what is, what had just come up as his result being positive, it's going to break down virtually everything in Nigeria, because I know that most of the state governors right now are going to be so much interested. They will run to possibly the Nigerian Center for Disease Control also to be tested so that they can know their status and also jump into self-isolation. But unfortunately, one of the most heartbreaking issues is that after some of the meetings that they have had, even the one that he had with the vice president, so many of them had already gone around doing different things, interacting with different persons, having different meetings, having to touch some of their family members, and having to interact with different people from different circles. So right now, we are not sure of any of the state governors, especially those who were in attendance in some of the meetings that he attended. It's really a troubling situation right now, because all of the state governors need to run to Abuja immediately so that they can get tested. One of the things that federal government came up with when the case of this guy, case of Atiku's son, and that of some of the senators and the House of Rep members came up, they said that the case of Nigeria may be likened to the case of China and also Italy. They came up with that, and when they say it, I was troubled, because for a federal government to such a thing, it therefore means they have some of the results have been hidden. They know already, they have an idea about what is currently happening, and they do not really want to unveil it, but they just want to present it in such a way that it will not trigger a lot of fear. Don't forget that even this the case of Abakari also, which came up, we've already heard that he had interacted with people like Lai Mohammed, that's the Minister of Minister of Information. He has also interacted with one of the senators from Benue State, Shusham, who was also the former governor of Benue State. So right now, we cannot tell the extent of the spread. And with what we are seeing currently, I am so sure that it will jump. The number of confirmed cases will jump from 40, where it is right now, to a number that will be unthinkable, and that will breed a lot of fear and panic in the country. Right now, so much confusion right now with the result coming out, and with the fact that he has already interacted with so many people. Nigerians are going to panic. So the question is, what is the way out? Because panicking will not help solve the situation. Getting scared and breeding a lot of fear will not help the situation. We have already had cases where people, after they have tested positive because of how they had lived, they have recovered from it, because of positive living and all of that. Though I know most of our politicians have a lot of personal cases. They have so much serious diseases. Some of them are carrying a lot of diseases inside of them, though they may not want to make it public. So this virus coming into being may make it worse. But I think it's a case of trying to beef up your own system, beef up your immune system, so that you can help bring down the power of this virus. And it's via different already WHO have been able to talk to virtually the whole world about how they can bring down the power and the influence of this virus. Bala Mohammed is now infected. State governors, deputy state governors were part of the meeting which he attended. The vice president also was there. The question is, are all our leaders infected by this terrible disease? Let's just try to, hear the views of different persons. My colleague is here. She's going to talk about it. What do you think about the current result of coronavirus for Bala Mohammed? Do you think that Nigerians are going to find themselves in a disadvantaged position right now, being that all their leaders are almost being affected?
Well, this is a very serious issue. This is not Fulani herdsmen that will say a particular sector should suffer for it while others keep mum over it. This is definitely not Fulani herdsmen, and this is definitely not a case of a regional thing. This is a global issue, and this is not the time for propaganda. And this is not that time when Brutai will tell us we have technically defeated them. There's no technicality here. It's either you have or you haven't. And when the health Minister of Health came on board some weeks back, he said he's actually him and his team are actually ready for this virus, and they even went further to even make noise, saying that they should keep our borders open, they should allow all countries to come in, that they are technically ready. I laughed in Swahili because I knew that is it not the same Nigeria? Is there a second Nigeria somewhere? There are no hospitals anywhere, no special hospitals like what Wahom did, what China did. Quickly built a specialist hospital in the twinkle of an eye, and they were ready. We had enough ample time, but they weren't ready. Sometimes it's always good that some things happen from the head, so that everybody wear their thinking cap. If it was for just if it's always the masses, no one isn't. Hey, it's a normal thing. If it's the masses, if it was just a case of Fulani herdsmen, eating, beating, maiming, raping our women, kidnapping our young men, killing them, injuring them, the securities put a blind eye towards it. You can't put a blind eye to coronavirus, COVID-19. You can't, because it's a ravaging issue. It's everywhere. And the more you hide it, the more it's coming up. When I suspected there was an issue was when Abakari, that's the chief of staff of Buhari, screamed, wrote on behalf of Buhari that the senators are refusing to undergo screening. I knew there was a problem. For Abakari to shout, something is going on. They're the one that travel the most. This particular disease is not homegrown. It's not an indigenous disease. We keep saying this. They closed the borders. They said Nigeria should eat homegrown food. They said don't import cars. Let us drive homegrown cars. But they will go and travel, do medical tourism, and bring disease into the country and expect us to begin to enjoy this disease. How? How can you travel to Germany, travel to wherever, and you go undergo screening as a Wendy? You refuse because you are a big boy, a top official. No, I'm a top official, and these guys will not allow you to pass, and you endanger everyone. This thing have no. This is the particular disease. They respect anybody. Unfortunately, it has started because the truth of the matter is, the one who is positive now, we don't know. He has not told us how many other people he has had in contact with. unfortunately, it's always the people at the helm of our, big boys beget big boys. Abagari came. He did not come and hug me. He did not come and greet me. He does not know me. But he went and greeted Kogi State Governor. I'm talking about Yaya Bello. They hugged, they shook hands. Like begets like. So let's keep our fingers crossed. It's beginning to move. When they beg them, stop this tourism, ecotourism, medical tourism. They feel Nigerians don't deserve, we do not deserve good, proper medical facilities. I thought by now they would have traveled to probably Germany, UK for treatment. Go there now. Now Nigeria have every reason to worry because we don't even know if it's catching up with them. What about the other masses, the common man, who no one knows? No one is interested in their cases. The reason why Nigerians are screaming and getting this is because they're prominent men and their informations are always key. But there are some unknown Nigerians who are commoners out there, poor masses who are not known, but are already carrying COVID-19. And they're not announcing it because they feel they're not important. And these same guys will probably not want to scream it out. They will still keep spreading it. So Nigeria, I just hope Nigeria's case will not be that of Italy. But unfortunately, what is so painful about this whole aspect is the fact that we had enough ample time to prepare our home. But our leaders, in their usual way, paid lip service, did propaganda on this. They had enough time to buy the testing kit, to educate Nigerians that went due, to pay Nigerians some of the stipends they ought to pay. Other world leaders are paying their citizens stipends. Here in Nigeria, they're removing 20 naira from fuel. So that when we are going to be drinking fuel, I don't know. They did not even pay. As we speak, so federal government staff and civil servants have not collected their much salary. And I telling them to say, lockdown, you will drink urine. Will you eat shit? Wouldn't you eat your food? You don't even have food you have stuck in the house. How would you survive? Our market is booming. Clubs schools are still ongoing. It's just Lagos that have a lockdown. Some of the states are still allowing their wards to go to. Just fairly recently in Imo State, Governor Hope Uzodinma said there should be a lockdown. The priest, Archbishop there, one of the missionary schools, said for what? That he's going to mess up with the calendar. That they will officially close his own school at 27th of March. And that means all the students, plus their parents and the teachers involved, they are endangered, exposed to some of these viruses. If they've been properly educated, as in nationally, on dailies, they keep announcing the consequences, the effect and all that, maybe Nigerians will be well equipped for all this. But right now, it's as if we're just hearing this for the first time. But it's good to know that it's coming from the top. And guess what? These guys have spoken to someone like our vice president, one way or the other, have had encounter with them. They've had interactions. Top politicians have had encounter with some of these people who are positive carriers. Who knows? There will be much more research coming up.
All right, thank you very much. It's a terrible one right now. Fears everywhere, panicking everywhere, because it's not just the case of one of the governors having it. It's a case of most of them came back and they have possibly, interacted with their families, their loved ones. So the panic is really going to grow. The way out right now is for us to make sure we stay back home, make sure that you build your immune system, and thirdly, make sure also that whatever you can do to help your next door neighbor, you do it, because you don't know what will happen if you are being exposed to him or to her. So right now, there's trouble in Nigeria. I don't know where they are going to be running to. Either maybe they are running to United States or to any country. But right now, I know that nobody is going to be planning to run to United States of America. Instead, most of them will be running back home. Some of them will be going down to their villages where they will have to drink some very strong herbal drink if it will help to handle the issue. Well, we'd like to leave it there. We are just presuming. Let's see what will happen in the next 1 week, because I know more results are going to